Hello, religion thinkers, and welcome to another edition of The Meaning of Religion. I'm Dr. James Rowell. I've taught religion for over 15 years now, and I'm the author of two books, most recently, Making Sense of the Sacred, released just in May of 2021, and my prior book, Gandhi and Bin Laden, Religion at the Extremes. Today, we're going to be talking about the Bhagavad Gita. What is the Bhagavad Gita? It is a classic of Hindu spirituality and religion. I think it wasn't in Indiana Jones movie that they called it the Hindu Bible. It's not exactly the Hindu Bible, but it is a very revered and important scripture in the Hindu tradition. So what is it about? It is about the tale of a warrior Arjuna and his reluctance to do his duty to go and fight the bad guys. Now, the Bhagavad Gita is actually part of a larger epic called the Mahabharata. What's the Mahabharata? The Mahabharata is an epic tale of the struggle of good and evil. On the one hand, there are the 5 Pandava brothers, of which Arjuna is one. They're the good guys. They're the ones trying to get back the kingdom that was taken from them. On the other side of the battlefield, there are the Kauravas, those who tricked the Pandavas out of the kingdom, the bad guys of the story. So let's return to Arjuna and his confrontation in the Bhagavad Gita. He's on the battlefield. He doesn't really like what he sees. Not because he thinks he's going to lose, but because he doesn't want to kill the people on the other side of the battlefield. He's known many of them since he was very young, and he doesn't want to slay them. He's having a lot of reluctance doing his duty. Now he doesn't know it, but his charioteer, Krishna, is none other than the god Vishnu incarnate, a god in human form. And it is Krishna's duty to try and get Arjuna to realize his duty to fight. And that is the advice he's giving. Arjuna is reluctant. Krishna tells him, as one abandons worn-out clothes and acquires new ones, so when the body is worn out, a new one is acquired by the self who lives within. That's a remarkable quote. It says that the immortal soul acquires new bodies like we put on shirts every day of our lives and cast them off. The soul is putting on a body in one lifetime, and then the next reincarnation it puts on another. And in each life we have new experiences, new trials and tribulations, and we learn from that lifetime, and we steer our karmic course towards a better end. So he's telling Arjuna to do his duty. Arjuna is still reluctant. Krishna tells him, considering your dharma, you should not vacillate. For a warrior, nothing is higher than a war against evil. The warrior confronted by such a war should be pleased, Arjuna, for it comes as an open gate to heaven. But if you do not participate in this battle against evil, you will incur sin, violating your dharma and your honor. So he's telling him to go and do his duty and fight. Arjuna is still reluctant. Now it's very interesting that Gandhi, one of the most active leaders of non-violence in recent years, thought that the Bhagavad Gita was essentially dedicated to non-violence. And here, this quote that I'm about to read says what Gandhi thought was the heart of the message of the Bhagavad Gita. And here it reads, "They live in wisdom who see themselves in all and all in them, who have renounced every selfish desire and sense-craving tormenting the heart. Neither agitated by grief nor hankering after pleasure. They live free from lust and fear and anger. Established in meditation, they are truly wise. Fettered no more by selfish attachments, they are neither elated by good fortune nor depressed by bad. Such are the seers." This is a remarkable quote. It says that we need to see the self in all. And I think it does speak a lot about the selflessness which Gandhi thought was the heart of the Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna is still reluctant. Krishna in his attempt to convince Arjuna, will ultimately have to reveal his godly form. And Arjuna is overwhelmed. He's amazed by all the myriad faces and all the wondrous splendor of Vishnu incarnate. Now we get to one last quote, which I think is very interesting. That's coming from the Bhagavad Gita. Here it reads, "They alone see truly those who see the Lord the same in every creature, who see the deathless in the hearts of all that die. Seeing the same Lord everywhere, they do not harm themselves or others. Thus they attain the supreme goal." Now, that's a fascinating quote. They do not harm other people. It almost sounds like we've left the battlefield entirely, and we're on a spiritual plane talking about a spiritual duty. That is how Gandhi interpreted the Bhagavad Gita, as a higher spiritual duty to nonviolence, but I'm sure Hindus will interpret the Bhagavad Gita differently, just as Christians will look to one Bible and see it differently, and Muslims will interpret the Quran differently as well. So I invite you to read this book. It is a fascinating classic of Hinduism, and I hope I've given you some good excerpt of that today. Please subscribe to my channel, look forward to the next video, and have a good day.